Welcome to the show, everyone. My name is Jacob, and I'm a sports guy.
My name is Tim, and I am not a sports guy.
For the last time.
No,
you're not
probably not.
Not the last time. You're just gonna.
No, I'm gonna keep saying that.
Okay. No, I mean I get it. It's like kind of routine. Like we're just gonna kind of. I'm the sports guy. You're not the sports guy, but it's just.
Remember, we wouldn't have this show if I was a sports guy.
It's all about Tim. Let's not forget. Welcome to episode 8, everybody, of the Not a Sports Guy podcast.
Ocho.
Tim, what is this
Spanish
show about?
listeners.
Ooh, the ESPN Ocho. Are you a big fan of Dodgeball, the movie? Anyways, Tim, what's the show about?
It's about me not knowing anything about sports.
Exactly.
No. Well, kind of it is, actually. Yeah. So this is a podcast designed around me as somebody who doesn't really keep up with sports. And I want to get into it, right? So Jacob, my best friend here.
That's me.
Big sports guy. And he has taken me through this season. We're going through the NBA 2021, 2022 season.
That's
so
right.
I'm just trying to get acclimated with the who's who and the what's what.
The
whole show. The what now?
The what? I said the wits. What was that? Or you? What?
We're gonna move on.
Okay.
But so it's not just a basketball podcast. For those of you listening, we will be covering all major sports lines and perhaps move into some not so major ones at some point as well. I'm really excited about that. We kind of teased it on the first episode, but at some point we'll be covering cornhole.
Wait, who said that we agreed
one day
to that one? We agreed
one day.
No? We also said we were going to cover the Summer Olympics next year.
Yeah, we did. We're going to try to forget about that one though.
That's right, Tim. Yeah, so this is Tim's first season following the NBA. So we're trying to keep him in the loop of everything. It's how would you say the season has been so far for you?
Well, I've enjoyed it. It's a lot. Many of you who are listening who do keep up with the NBA in particular know there's a lot of games. There's a lot going on. So it can be a bit overwhelming at times. Also, at the beginning of the season, we spun a wheel. We put all of the teams in the NBA on this wheel. Whatever team it landed on, that was going to be our team to follow this season. We landed on the
Brooklyn,
as you can see on my hat,
Nets.
Brooklyn Nets. And so we've been tracking along with them. That's been an interesting journey as well. So,
and they're still your team so far.
They're my team. Hey, look, till the end of the season, at least.
Till the end of the season.
I bought a hat, so I've got to at least, well, it was a Christmas gift for my wife, so I definitely got to commit.
Can't throw it out for sure. If anything, it'll be kind of just a token to remember our first season of the podcast. Because next time we do NBA, who knows? You may have your own team by then that you're like,
maybe.
Besides the Nets, you may find like a love for another team,
right?
Like the Grizzlies. We're gonna go ahead and
maybe we've been talking about that behind the scenes for those of you listening, which is actually interesting. I want to talk about this a little bit. I don't want to harp on it too much.
Okay.
But I think now is an appropriate time. And we would love to hear from our listeners if you guys have any input on this conversation. But I'm struggling to define what it means to be a fan, right? Because Jacob, you are following the Nets this year, obviously. Just you were forced to because you're doing this with me. But your team is
the Hawks, the Atlanta Hawks,
right? And you are a diehard Atlanta Hawks fan. True and true.
I die.
Okay. So this is interesting to me, right? Because the Hawks are doing pretty good right now. They're not great, but they have some great players and they have the potential to be good, right? So I'm not dissing on the Hawks or anything, but even if the Hawks weren't a good team, if they were the bottom of the barrel team, you would still be a Hawks fan, right?
Yep. Till the day I die again.
But so for me, here's where I'm at. The Nets are frustrating for me to follow. I'm committed to following them and rooting for them, but I'm really not a fan of the way they play, right? And you kind of teased it here, but I've been also just by happenstance following along with the Grizzlies, and I'm actually really enjoying watching them play. And I find myself kind of rooting for them and being a fan of the Grizzlies, but I'm in this weird place where and I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with calling yourself a fan of more than one team.
Right.
But I am a fan of the Grizzlies because of the way they play, but not necessarily of the Grizzlies themselves, right? So I guess it's just like, what does it mean to be a fan? Is it like, are you a fan of a team because it's your team, or are you a fan of players and the way they play? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely. I mean, I guess you can't really define what a fan is because there's just so many different types of fans. Like you said, like I'm a Hawks fan because I was born here. I'm an Atlanta sports fan through and through, just blind loyalty to them.
Okay.
And some people, like, specifically non-sports fans, will look at people and be like, your team sucks. How are you still
Right.
like pumped up to watch them? Why are you still buying the merch? And it's just like, can you explain it other than like you just have, I guess at a certain point, you have just spent so much time and effort focusing on them that it's almost like you've bought in with them. And so it's
Right.
like, even
Okay.
though they're sucking, I mean, I'm still a Hawks fan, like I can't
Right.
really change that. But then you also have people who are just fans of individual players. They don't claim a team. They just say, well, I'm a
Okay.
LeBron fan. Wherever he goes, that's the team I'm rooting for that season. So there's really no like specific definition, I would say, of a fan. So, but I think you've got like the right mindset here. You're trying to understand, why you enjoy a team, and like, and if that makes enough sense for you to like continue to follow them, even if they aren't playing well.
Right. Because that's where I'm at, right? Like with the Grizzlies again, I've enjoyed them so much that I thought, man, I would actually really love to have like a Grizzlies hat, or a jersey or whatever it might be. But then I was like, I really like Ja Morant, right? He's a great player. And he's really what's attracted my focus to them. But if he wasn't with the Grizzlies, would I still feel the same way, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It'll be an interesting journey. Again, I would love to hear our listeners' thoughts as well. Please join in on this conversation. I'm assuming, and maybe I'm wrong, and this is part of the conversation. I'm assuming there's no right answer, right? But
yeah,
I would just love to hear what you guys think.
Yeah, and like you said, there might not be a right answer. It's specific to your journey, however you feel. Like, we gave you a team at the beginning of the season. We're sticking with the Nets for now. And I think it's a good just launching pad for you to kind of find yourself within the NBA atmosphere. So, you may not be a Nets fan by the end of the season. You may say, hey, you know what? I spent an entire season watching the Nets, but also watching teams they played, like the Grizzlies. And you know what? I just found out that I just loved watching Ja Morant play. I'm a Grizzlies fan. You know what? And then next season, you might try sticking with the Grizzlies. And then, you may find yourself being like, you know what? I thought I liked them, but I don't like them. I'm going to go with this team. You never know. So
Right. Okay.
I'm excited to see where this goes for you, Tim. But yeah, so you guys are probably wondering, what the heck? 2 episodes in 1 week. That's right. This is our first double upload, y'all. And you're probably wondering why we're double uploading. Well, it's because Fridays are going to be our new release dates. In the past, we've been recording on Wednesdays and Thursdays, and we release on Mondays. So there's like a 5-day gap sometimes in between the day we record and then the day that you get to hear the information come out. So by the time y'all hear it,
a lot of stuff happens in between that time. We're missing out on a lot of great content. Really trying to keep you guys up to speed. I feel like we kind of talked about it behind the scenes. You're really not getting, modern news,
like
right?
live time, like breaking news dropping, because you're hearing it nearly a week later. So we are going to start dropping on Fridays now. So now the podcast that you listen to should be pretty close, up to date information, still
Closer.
Relevant
still
news.
A couple of days off, but yeah, a lot closer.
Right. Everything should still be relevant, if that makes sense. So yeah, we hope you guys will enjoy the new Friday releases. Also, our YouTube channel is now up and live. So make sure you go to YouTube and search us up at Not a Sports Guy Podcast. Basically, all you're going to be seeing on there as of right now will just be the audio clips.
Yeah, you guys don't have to see Jacob's ugly face.
Not yet.
It's coming, though. Don't worry.
We're gonna get it. We're gonna get that worked up. But for now, it's just another way for you to listen to the podcast. So if Apple doesn't work for you, if Spotify doesn't work for you, we got you on YouTube now. So make sure you go over there, hit the subscribe button, and make sure you like the videos. It doesn't take much. Just a quick like, quick subscribe, and the deed's been done.
Mhm.
And as always, make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Not a Sports Guy Podcast.
You can see Jacob's ugly face there.
Yes.
If you really want to.
Plastered
I don't
all
know
over
that I recommend
the
it.
feed.
I'm just kidding.
Well, if they do want to go follow on TikTok or Instagram, they'll get to see exciting posts. Like recently, there was a certain player who broke the record for the youngest player to record a triple-double. Do you know who that was? Oh my God. It's the Thunder
from Down Under?
Josh
Giddey. Let's go.
Yes, sir. He just recorded a NBA record for the youngest player to ever have a triple-double. And so we jumped on Instagram, we jumped on TikTok, we posted stuff kind of pushing the branding that he should have, which is the Thunder from Down Under.
We're dubbing him this name.
Right. I thought of it. I thought of the nickname.
Was it you or was it the not a sports guy?
It was me, right? I thought it was
us.
No, it was you, Tim. You came up with it. The clever Thunder from Down Under, Josh Giddey. So
for those of you who don't know, he's from Australia. So
yes.
And he plays for the Thunder. So that's where it comes from. Come on.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It's the only nickname he could have. You know, like give me another one that would work. You can't say. I mean, nothing
Giddy
works.
Up, Josh. No.
Don't you have a crickets drop on that soundboard somewhere?
Yeah, sorry, you don't get access to that. But let me just.
Well, does he have another? There's no other nickname that he could have. I mean, try to name another one.
Giddy Up, Josh. There we go.
I think like us reenacting that deserves more crickets. But
okay.
No, it's okay.
No, okay.
Thank y'all for putting up with us, man.
Listen,
this has been a blast.
You know something I've been thinking about. Oh, gosh, I really, and I'm not like begging for you all's interaction, but I truly want to know. For me, the soundboard on this podcast is like another host in and of itself. It's a character.
Right.
I love it. I think Jacob really enjoys it as well.
So much
if
fun.
It's annoying to you guys, please let us know. We'll stop.
I don't even think I would. It's just been so much fun.
No, I don't even care about you guys' opinions now.
No, still let us know. Let us know.
Let us know.
Okay.
Let us know. Yeah, that's good, Jacob. Let us know if we're annoying you, and we're going to keep doing it. That's great. Cool.
That's really how customer service works, right?
That's what Jacob wants to do.
Today we have an awesome show for you. As always, we've got NBA. Can we do the rewind?
I got you.
Do it. We have an awesome show for you guys. We've got NBA 101. We've got the weekly wager. The good, the bad, and the ugly makes a return. And then, as always, we're going to wrap it up with the NBA recap. But first, let's jump into NBA 101. Everyone take your seats, please. We've got our first lesson of the day.
God, you're just trying not to laugh at yourself right now.
Tim, you gave me some questions this week. You wanted to talk about the sixth man. What kind of sparked this, idea to ask these questions? Do you remember what was going through your head at the time?
I played basketball in high school, and I was my senior year. Listen, my senior year, I started, and then I got benched for a junior. It was really embarrassing.
Well, last episode you were like comparing yourself to Giannis, right?
Yeah, big accidentally. Man. Yeah, we had a lot of really good players on our team. Sorry, no. So I don't know. I was the sixth man for a little while, and I guess I was
wanting to know what went into it. What made a good one?
Yeah.
What is the sixth man? Well, to kind of just give it to you short here, Tim, the sixth man is just simply someone that comes off the bench. It's the first option off the bench, basically. Sort of a role player, can kind of play, different positions, different roles, depending on what the team needs at the time. Obviously, there's an award at the end of the season given out to the sixth man of the year. So this isn't just like, just because you're on the bench means you suck and you're not going to get any playing time and no one thinks about you. No, there's an award that you can win if you're coming off the bench and you're playing your tail off. So it should still be motivation for all the players that are on the bench. Whenever you get in, make it count, because, the sixth man is definitely important. But so that was the first question, was kind of define what the sixth man is. And then the second question you had was, what makes a good sixth man? I've kind of already answered that a little bit in the first one, which was just basically come off the bench and just be an asset to your team. Be able to fill in the roles that are needed when some of the starters come out. Be someone that goes into the game and makes a difference. You don't want to go out there and be like James Harden and have 5 turnovers. You want to be able to go out there and make a difference and even help your team take the lead if they're down, or if you're in the lead, keep that lead. Just be a competitor, honestly.
So I guess I don't want to say this is what confuses me, but you have the starting lineup, you have a starting 5, but that changes, right? And so somebody who maybe the first few games of the season was a sixth man, but they've proved themselves and now they're starting. So like, what point, like, are you good enough to be the sixth man or win the sixth man award, but you're not good enough to start enough to not be called a sixth man? Does that make sense?
Right. It's kind of weird. It's like, you're the best bench player. So then you might be thinking like, okay, well, he's the best bench player, so surely he can
but he
start.
stayed bad enough to not really start. Yeah, it's just a little.
So how good is the sixth man, really?
And that's my question, I guess. And it's not to diss anybody who's a sixth man. I mean, let's face it. Anybody who's playing in the NBA, clearly you're phenomenal at basketball. I mean, it's not...
Everybody's phenomenal? You think everyone's... Well, I mean, yeah, to make it in the NBA, everybody's great. I mean, compared to like your average player, of course. But like you said, the sixth man award's kind of like the best mediocre player. I don't even know if that's like necessary. I don't think that's necessarily true. I think, obviously we're goofing around here, but like you bring up a good point though. It's like, so they were the best player off the bench, but they weren't good enough to like start. And sometimes you need that piece though. That's like not starting, not playing 35 plus minutes, but you have that player that can come in and play 20 and just really, turn it up whenever he's in there and kind of just keep that pace, at the same level as when your starters are in there. So, it's very much, that's why they call it the sixth man. I mean, like, you're literally an extension of that starting team that just continues to push the team forward. So,
okay.
But yeah, so the last question you have for me was, who do I think is a good sixth man? Personally, there's this guy, I don't know which private school it was, but he got benched for a junior, and Tim Swaney.
Yes, thank you.
That's my favorite sixth man
right now. I'll take it.
No, I think always a fun guy that's won six man.
You didn't have to throw in that it was a private school, by the way. That just shows how bad I was. And this was not like a very fancy private school, guys. It was like maybe 100 kids in my high school team. So really, anybody who tried out made it. Not in my team. I'm sorry. There was about 100 kids in my high school.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
that is such a tiny school.
Yeah, so like anybody who tried out made it, right? So
no, you were a big man like Giannis. There was no way they were going to turn you away. No,
that did help.
Obviously, it did. I mean, who was the junior that came in? Was it James Harden, or was it like it was someone who ended up going to the league? Surely,
I wish I could say that was the case. That was before I got good. You know what I'm saying?
What can I say though? I've never played organized basketball before, so I can't really.
Stop. Why are you teaching this class?
Um,
I wanna unenroll
I'm the
from NBA
substitute.
101.
I'm
Oh,
actually the
okay, that makes
substitute
sense.
today, so
That makes sense.
I'm
Okay.
trying to just fill in and kind of do the best I can. Well, here we go. Who do I think's the sixth man? Number 1, Lou Williams, aka Lemon Pepper Lou. He is honestly one of my favorite six man. He actually plays for the Hawks right now. And that's not why I think he's one of my favorites. He's won the Sixth Man of the Year award multiple times, I'm pretty sure. He's kind of went around the NBA. He played a good stint at the Clippers, and now he's playing for the Hawks. He's probably played for more teams than that. But he's always, like last year in the playoffs specifically for the Hawks, he came in clutch because Trae Young got hurt in the playoffs. And I think Trae Young missed a few games against the Bucks, but Lou Will came in and started and actually played really well.
Is he a point guard?
Yeah, I think he's a point guard solely. Okay. I mean, he could probably play shooting guard as well. But he's an NBA vet. He's been around for a long time. So I don't know. I think just part of that of why I think he's a really good six man is because obviously you've got that experience of being an NBA vet. But he's also just a good baller, man. He can go out there and play. I've actually pulled up the Sixth Man of the Year award odds for this season so far. Who all these casinos and sports books and betting, places they all have their odds on a few people. Number one person who they think is going to win the Sixth Man of the Year award is Tyler Hero for Miami, who really made a big name for himself whenever he was playing in the finals in the NBA bubble against the Lakers. He did a really good job during that time with Jimmy Butler. He really made a big name for himself during that time, and he's obviously continued to play well. We've got Kelly Oubre Jr. with the Hornets, who is got pretty high odds right now. Tyrese
This is what's confusing to me is, I both of those names I'm very much familiar with. And like when I'm watching games with them in it, they're playing most of the game. So it's just, that's what's throwing me off is like, I would never think they're sixth man. Maybe they didn't start the game, but they're playing a lot of it.
Yeah. So, I mean, you look at some of the minutes on some of the box scores on these games is like people coming off the bench are almost, they're not playing 40 minutes. They're not playing usually into the 30s. But they're playing up there 25 minutes. Like you're getting to see them play a good bit, and especially, a team like the Nets where KD's been out a lot or James Harden's been out a lot due to COVID protocol. Like a lot of teams, are obviously dealing with COVID protocols right now. So some of their starters aren't able to play. So due to that, some of these people who would be coming off the bench are stepping into some of these starting roles and doing a pretty good job. So that's going to wrap it up for NBA 101. Tim, do you think you now know the ins and outs of the sixth man?
As much as a substitute teacher can tell me, yeah, for sure.
Huh? What? I thought I was joking about that part though. That was I'll do better next time. But hopefully everyone learned a little bit.
Yeah, hopefully. Looks like you could use a little water break. You ready for a quick break?
Let's take a quick break. Welcome back to the show, everybody.
Back so soon.
But that was NBA 101. Hopefully y'all learned a little bit about that. But we've got more to go. We've still got some show ahead. Tim, are you excited to get in this next segment? I don't know if I am. Should we skip it this week?
I don't think so.
Why? Why do we got to do it?
This is why they keep coming back.
Why? Because of this one segment?
To see you lose every week.
Well, let's jump into it. What is it? It's the weekly wager. Yo. Tim's 3-0. Tim's 3-0 in the weekly wager, y'all. I've lost.
But you know what's crazy? This last week was terrible for both of us. It just was. more terrible for you.
It was even more like yours wasn't that bad. I mean, considering the guess, you weren't too far off. I mean,
I suppose we made a bet for the total points scored. 2 different games. I had the Nets versus Grizzlies. We talked about that earlier, that game at least. And then you had the Hawks v. Trailblazers game.
yes, sir.
When did those games? Those were
on Monday.
They were Monday. That's right. Okay. So I had guessed that the total points scored and that we were combining both teams, right? The final
Correct.
total. I had said that the Nets, Grizzlies combined would score a total of 208.
That's true.
And they ran it up to 222. It was 14 point difference.
That's not bad. I feel like that's a pretty good guess.
But it, I feel like most of the games that I've watched as of late, they're ending barely over 100 each, right?
Really?
So I thought 208 was going to be a really safe bet. And it's not, I wasn't that far off. I was 14 points off. They ended up totaling 222, right? But it was a big enough gap to have me worried.
Okay.
It was. I really thought for sure you had this one. I thought the Hawks and the Trailblazers were going to score similarly, just over 200. Your guess was that they would score 214. It's not quite how the game went.
What did they get to? What was the total points for both of them?
Well, hey, we'll get there. We'll get there. The total points scored was 267 points.
Jeez.
One of the highest. Was it the highest? Do you know?
So I did some research. There have been 1,100 total games played this season so far.
No way.
Yes. Out of all the teams, all the games that have been played, there's been 1,100 games played. This was the 6th highest scoring game so far. Of course, the one game where I happen to create this wager where we have to guess the total points. The game that I gave myself was the 6th highest scoring game so far. I mean, they both scored into the 130s. Obviously, I keep up with the Hawks a lot. They've been averaging like a little bit over 100 each game. Sometimes less, but average a little bit over 100. And so I was like, surely, Hawks are going to score a little bit over 100. I say 110. And then the Trailblazers are without Damian Lillard, and they're without CJ McCollum. So I see the Hawks beating them easily. And so I was like, you know what? They may break 100, maybe not. But sure enough, they just both were like, hey, let's just go all out. We're both going to put up 130 something.
Yeah.
And so my difference was 53 points.
That's right. They had a combined score of 267.
Oh my gosh. Wow. How ridiculous is that? So with that being said, I'm 0-3. Tim,
I'm 3-0.
So
yeah, so I'm on a nice. I feel comfortable going into this week's weekly wager. I'm not really that worried. If I lose, it's okay. For those of you who are just joining us with the weekly wager, we're not actually wagering really anything week to week.
Until I win.
Up our wagers.
Maybe the week that I win, we'll maybe place a bet.
But we'll decide that after you win, right?
Right, of course.
No, we're tallying up our wins and losses, and at the end of the season, we haven't decided what the winner gets.
Yep. Not yet.
But it's in the works, and it's going to be good.
And maybe you guys can throw in an idea of what the winner shall receive. But currently, Tim is ahead 3. Really, all 3 wagers that we've placed, you've won them all.
Well, I've got some good news for you.
I'm going to win this week. I'm going to win it.
Just listen. Just hear me out. This week's weekly wager, I'm going to get into it. We're going to play a little game here.
Okay.
But there is an extra credit chance.
Ooh.
So if you potentially could win 2 points.
Oh, wow. No way.
Yes, sir.
Oh, wow. I like this.
Okay.
Were you an extra credit person in school? Like you would do the extra credit to receive a little? Yeah,
I was too much of a procrastinator. I loved the idea.
So what if I didn't do the extra credit for this one? Like, do I have to do the extra credit for this?
Yeah, you have to do the extra credit, but it just could end up not getting you any points.
So this means you could also win 2 points.
It does. It does.
Oh,
It does
no. Oh, and of course, who's making the bet this week? You're making the bet
Well,
this week.
you're also in luck there because this week's weekly wager, we're going to be picking each other's bet, essentially, or at least a good part of it, okay?
Okay.
All right. So bear with me here. I have not rehearsed this in my head how we're going to go about this, but let's start with Jacob. I'm going to give you the chance to pick a number between 5 and 20, okay?
Okay. Can I go ahead and guess it now?
Mhm.
11.
11, okay. I'm going to say 16. Okay?
Do you know what you're guessing this number?
I do.
Oh, okay. So you kind of have an advantage for this part right here. You kind of...
Yeah, but I don't feel like I'm giving myself that much an advantage. Don't worry.
Okay.
All right. Now I want you to pick East or West.
East.
All right.
I don't even know if I like that, though. I don't even know what I'm picking for.
All right.
I just said East because Hawks are in the East. Okay, let's hear it.
All right. So I want you to pick, and here's where things get interesting. I want you to pick a team from the East. Now, I'll go ahead and tell you a little bit about this pick. This will be the team that I will be tracking with this coming week. Okay.
Okay.
So you're picking a team for me in the East. Okay.
Okay.
So go ahead. The Magic. Okay.
The Magic.
All right. That's no problem at all.
Oh, God. Watch. It's going to end up being
I'm going to give
who's
you
going to
the
lose
Suns.
the most
I'm going to give you the
games this week?
Suns. No, I'm going to give you the Suns. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to be picking a game this week, the Magic are playing.
Okay.
And I am going to. So basically, the weekly wager is this. I'm going to decide whether or not the Magic will win or lose said game. I get to pick the game. You get to pick the Suns game, whether or not they win or lose. Okay. So there's actually a chance that we could both win points this week.
Okay. So if the Magic win the game and the Suns win the game, then we both get a point.
Correct. And I could wager that the Magic is going. The Magic are. The Magic are. That's confusing. The Magic is a singular.
No. But the Magic, the team, that's a noun, right? It's
plural. It's confusing.
I don't even know where you're going. I just threw a dart.
Okay. So I can also say that Orlando is going to lose a game. As long as I get it right, I get that point. Okay.
Okay.
The number that you picked 11. So you're going to tell me the Suns are either going to win or lose a game. Okay. On that same game, you're going to tell me what is the point difference going to be more or less than 11?
Ooh. So under. So I've got the Suns.
Yep.
And I also picked the number 11. And we're not going to guess how many extra appendages Devin Booker is going to have at any given time.
No, that's going to stay in episode 5.
Go to listen to episode 5 at the very end. You will not be disappointed. Okay. So let's go ahead. I'm going to take a look. So we have the Suns this week between we've got, so we're doing it this week, correct?
That's right. Any game before next Wednesday.
Oh, okay. So before next Wednesday. So I've got 3 games to pick from here. We've got the Suns against the Clippers, the Suns against the Heat, and then the Suns against the Raptors. So I've already got my pick. Okay. I'm going to pick the Suns against the Clippers, which is tomorrow. And I'm going to say, so this part is you said the point difference. Will it be under or over?
Yeah, you don't have to give me a specific number. I just want to know, will it be over or under? And here's the kicker. Let's say you say it's over, okay? It's over 11. And somehow maybe the Clippers win and they win by over 11 points. You don't get the extra credit because you got the first part wrong. Okay. Does that make sense? Deal. So you've got to have the first part right to earn the extra credit. Okay.
Deal. I'm game with that. So Gosh, this is exciting. This is such a fun one, Tim. Great job, man. This was really exciting. Okay, so do I want to go below or over 11? I almost want to go under 11 because for whatever reason the Clippers have been competing without Kawhi and without Paul George, but it's the Suns. I'm going to go the Suns win, and the over under is, oh gosh, I can't decide. I want to say over, but that's crazy, right? Over 11
points.
That's right. Like the over unders on usual games are like 4 or 5. You know, like so to say over 11, that, but then you look at our wagers from last week. The difference was 14, and the difference was 53. So it's like, gosh. But the Clippers have also been competing, so I don't know where I want to go here. You know what? F it, Tim. I'm going over.
Over.
Give me the over 11. Gosh.
All right. So I think you picked a great team for me, and you have a really good shot at not only winning this, but like preventing me from winning, because the 3 games that I've got to pick out of, give me just a second here to make sure I get this right. Okay. We're playing the Pistons once, right, and the Wizards twice. Ooh, neither which are phenomenal teams. The Pistons are right down there at the bottom with the Magic. So I mean, it could go either way. Right. I feel similarly to the Wizards.
Well, the Wizards are actually pretty good, though. The Wizards definitely aren't at the bottom this year. They are.
No, but they're right in the middle. They're right there in the
500.
Middle. So, but you're right. You know what? You're right. Thank you for that boost of encouragement.
Never mind. I take it all
So we're going to
back.
go with let's go with I believe it is a Monday night game. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It is Sunday night.
Sunday night.
The first Wizards game?
All right. We're going Sunday night Wizards game. Ooh, away game. Yeah, easy enough.
It is a home game.
It's a Sunday night. It's Amway Center. I'm sorry. I saw. Okay, so it's a home game. Crap. I picked the wrong game then.
Oh, you've already said it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's fine. You know
no,
what?
I'm not going to do that to you. If you want to go with the away game, I like your strategy. So you want to go with the Wednesday game now.
Let's go with the Wednesday game, if you don't mind.
Yep. No,
give me
I don't mind
at least
a
shot. Okay, so we're going to go
Wednesday. You're already
Wednesday.
up 3 wagers to 0. I'm going to give you some more room
Thank you. I'm not a sports guy, so I need all the help I can get, right? All right. I'm going to say we lose. That's easy, right?
Right. And, this is so easy. You're going to...
And 16. I don't know, though, man. I don't know. I don't follow the Magic well enough to know, are they at least compete? Like, are they getting blown out every game? I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm not going to take the time to look that up. I'm just going to say we're under 16. I'm going with it.
I think it's a layup, Tim. I think it's an absolute layup. I think Wizards beat Magic. I think it's under 16. I think you get both points.
We'll see.
You go to 5-0.
No, because we can both get points here. So I think there's still. I mean, you're definitely gonna the Suns versus Clippers.
Suns should win, but the 11-point over, that's going to be a tough one. But we'll see.
You made a bold choice there, but I think you made a wise choice with the Clippers.
Right. So. All right. Well, this was fun, man. Awesome job with another weekly wager. This is awesome. Of course, here I am last week. You just got to pick the total points. And then Tim's like, you want to carry the 3. Now give me a number between 3 and 5. And now pick a game. I love it, though. It's awesome. And I really appreciate all the thought that went into that. That was pretty dang fun. So with that being said, Tim,
I got fired from my job today because I was too busy putting this. I'm just kidding.
But it was worth it because I'm going to win this wager next week, and whatever prize is at the end of the season is going to be worth it. Tim, let's get into the good, the bad, and the ugly. Welcome to the good, the bad, and the ugly, everybody.
Are you ever going to give me a chance to welcome us in? Golly. I'm just kidding. You do such a great job. I don't even want it.
Do
I
the
can't.
rewind, and then I'll let you bring us in.
Look, I'm not going to do the rewind.
All the compliments you've given me on welcoming in.
I know. I'm just jealous. Like, I wish I could be that confident coming in.
How about this? We've got another segment after this. We've got NBA recap.
We got a
That's all
packed
you
episode this week.
That's all you.
All right, I'll take it.
All right. So, Tim, tell everybody what the good, the bad, and the ugly is. Because it's your this is your creation here.
It is. It's pretty simple. It's kind of like what it sounds like. We talk about what's good in the NBA, who's good maybe, what's, something that's like praiseworthy, right?
Right.
We talk about the bad, something that's not praiseworthy, that's a little sad.
Like
normally,
Tim.
Well, yeah, maybe, because I can't help it. And that's the kind of the idea behind the bad. It's something that's happened that maybe there's not a lot of control over. The ugly, you had control and you just lost it, generally speaking. It's just something that was really...
you don't want to look.
You don't want to... Yeah. So, like Jacob.
You know what? I deserve it. So let's go ahead and jump into it. Who's going to go first, Tim? Do you want to go first? Or do you want me to go first?
I tell you what, I'll let you go first.
All right, I'll do it.
But I want to hear your ugly first.
Ooh.
Let's go in reverse order this week. What you think about that?
All right. Hey, I love it. How about this? And then I'll pick your next one, or the one that you go with. We'll just do that. Sure. Here we go. So my ugly, and I've got it titled this way: the Nets. Simply the Nets. It's ugly, man. You don't want to look. This team dropped out of the top 5 in the power rankings. They're down to 6, and I get it, 6th. Oh my gosh, boo-hoo. No, listen. This team is a powerhouse. This team has 3 all-stars on it. Starting tonight, I should say they've got 3 because Kyrie just came back tonight. But KD and James Harden, 2 of some of the best players in the league, and this team is dropping down to 6th. Like, this could be a team that should be top 3.
Yeah, but we're losing easy games too. We've lost 3 in a row until tonight, right? But we're not losing to the Warriors and the Suns. We're losing to them too, but at least in this little stretch.
We're losing to them too.
But in this stretch, we've lost to the 76ers. We lost to the Clippers. And we lost to the Grizzlies. And that's not to say that those teams aren't deserving of the wins, but we're better than them.
But see, this is the thing. Like you said, we've not only lost to the Suns, and I don't even know if we played the Suns this season. I don't think we have. But we definitely have lost to, the Warriors is what I meant. We've definitely played the Suns. We lost to the Suns. Mm-hmm. So not only have we lost to the Suns, we've lost to the Bucks. We've lost to the 76ers. We've lost to the Grizzlies. Like, we're losing to good teams, which one might think, you know what? They're great teams. The
Warriors, by the way, and we lost.
Did we? Okay, well, there you go. We lost to the Warriors as well. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're beating lower level teams, and then we're losing to the good teams. And again, I was going to say, some people might think, well, hey, they're good teams you're losing to. It's not like you're losing to the Clippers. We lost to the Clippers too. So, we're losing to everybody. We blew a 13-point lead with less than 6 minutes to go against the Clippers, who rank 27th offensively. They were without 2 of their 3 leading scorers, and they were playing their 4th game in 5 nights, which the reason I put that in there is because they're tired. They've been playing nonstop. Mm-hmm. And then they come in and they play the Nets, and it's just like, oh my God, they're going to get destroyed. Nope. They actually come back and win. And the article that I read said that we seem to be playing better with only 1 of our 3-star players at a time.
I would agree with that, yes.
And I was about to say, you have mentioned to me, Tim, that you think that you prefer to watch James Harden play with the Nets rather than KD play with the Nets.
Well, specifically without KD.
Right, without KD.
Yes. So I think that he seems to have a more clear picture of what he needs to do. And I don't know. It seems like the supporting team, Patty Mills, DeAndre Bembry, don't know if you've been keeping up with him lately, but he is crushing right now.
Really?
But they seem to have a really solid chemistry. And I don't know if with KD, it's just that the whole idea is to get KD the ball. Clearly, it's working to an extent, right? I mean, he's got averaging, at least in the last few games, over 30 points a game.
Right.
But is that enough? I don't guess so, right? Like he could be scoring 50 points, but they're not winning games when they're doing that. But when you got James without KD, he's moving the ball around. He's getting the rest of his team, points, and collectively they're bringing home victory. You look at the Lakers game. I believe they played that without KD.
I think so. Yeah, they did.
And
they did not.
They didn't have KD, right?
Right. Yeah, it was just James Harden.
And it looked like a piece of cake, honestly. And
Really?
I mean, maybe that's the Lakers as well. I don't know. I don't want to put it all on the fact that KD wasn't there, but there's just some chemistry missing. And maybe I'm being a little unfair. I know that the Nets were built to support the three of them, and we haven't had Kyrie until tonight. But even tonight, I mean, I watched the game that we played against the Pacers, and we did kind of the same thing that we've been doing all season. We did pull out a victory, but we were down the whole game. It wasn't until the fourth quarter that we came and pulled it out. It
Typical
wasn't exciting.
Nets.
It was very, very expected.
Right. I think you bring up a good point about James Harden. When he's playing without KD, he knows his role. He knows what to do with the ball. He doesn't, I guess, feel obligated to pass out to KD more often. Because like you said, when KD's playing, he's taking a lot of shots. He's putting up 30-plus points a game. So I think you're right. When Harden's out there by himself without KD, he definitely understands his role a little bit more. And I think with Kyrie coming back for away games, I think that Harden and Kyrie would be a good pair, because even then Harden will kind of still understand that. I think Harden would probably move to shooting guard. Kyrie takes point guard over. So now Harden knows, okay, I'm going to be more of a shooter. Kyrie's going to do more of the, passing. And then, because then when you have KD and Harden, like Harden, I feel like is a shoot first player. So I mean, I don't know. He obviously averages a high volume of assists a game. So maybe I'm wrong on that, but obviously there's some disconnect with him and KD together. So maybe with all three of them, they'll be able to find, like you said, this is what they were built for. So we'll see what they can do. Tim, how about you go ahead and get into your bad?
COVID. I know we talked about it last GBU. That's what we call the good, bad, the ugly.
Oh, yeah.
It's abbreviated if you didn't pick up on that.
What's it stand for?
Good, the bad, and the ugly.
Sorry, okay, that's what the segment's called. Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. Yes, COVID. We talked about it last time. It's not gone anywhere. We still have almost 100 players still out due to COVID, or at least the health and safety protocols. I don't really know if that means they have COVID or if they're just showing symptoms, but either way, we even have coaches out. I mean, I think we're on the tail end of it. I'm hoping, but it's still kind of messing some stuff up, right? And I mean, teams aren't fully staffed,
right?
And we have enough to worry about with injuries, much less this putting people out for 1 to 2 weeks. So
right. I think just a few days ago, 11 games were postponed. I don't know if that, obviously, I don't think that was 11 games in one day, but like throughout like a span of a few days, 11 games have been postponed. So
wow.
I hope we're on the back end of it. I know this new variant, the Omicron variant, is just running amok around the entire world. So, I mean, really, it's not just the NBA, but I mean, I'm like you said, I'm hoping that maybe we're starting to get the tail end of this, because I mean, come on, man, it's too many players are having to stay out. These teams are playing games without these players, and these losses are counting, and these wins are counting. So it's like, it's just a bad time for the NBA right now. So,
well, that's enough ugly. Well, no, wait, that wasn't ugly. That's enough.
That was bad. We've got bad and ugly out the way so far.
Yes. Half of it at least. Let's talk some good. Let's hear your good.
Okay, here we go. We're going to shine some light here. DeMar DeRozan. He hit 2 game winners back-to-back nights. He became the only player in NBA history with a game-winning buzzer beater on consecutive days.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, like, how do you not just love watching this Bulls team? I mean, they are so good. They are such an exciting team to watch. Last week we did our NBA All-Star votes. I had picked Demar Derozan to be a part of one of my votes for the East. And actually, I read an article just a few days ago, and some experts kind of gave their picks for the NBA All-Star voting. And I must say, Tim, we did a pretty dang good job.
Did
All
we?
of the people that we had voted for were on the lists, all of them. So I think we did an amazing job making our picks. So hopefully we
Even
can
my
see
boy
some of them.
Draymond?
Even Draymond Green, he was
Let's
on there. One of
go.
the experts had picked Draymond Green to be an all-star vote. So I was actually really surprised to see that because it was only like one expert, but he had put Draymond. I was like, there you go, Tim. Made a good pick last week. So, but to get back to it, DeMar DeRozan having, I think, an MVP type season. He should definitely
A
be
nuclear season,
a
you might say.
nuclear season. And I think that he definitely should be in contention for the MVP title at the end of the season. But back to his 2 game winners. The first one was on New Year's Eve. They've actually coined it the New Year's Eve heave.
Interesting.
He shot it off one leg. It was a 3-pointer to beat the Pacers. And then the second one was also a 3-pointer on New Year's Day to beat the Wizards. So I thought that was pretty interesting. The first shot was on New Year's Eve in 2021, and then the next one was in 2022.
Hey, what a way to end the year. What a way to start it.
Right. So
That's pretty
good for
cool.
DeMar DeRozan, man. Such an exciting team to watch right now. I'm really enjoying it. So let's see, Tim. Let's get into your ugly. What's your ugly?
You're not gonna like this one.
Why
As
not?
a Hawks fan.
Oh Jesus.
It was. This is kind of a half good, half bad. But we had the Hawks play the Trailblazers. Trae Young had a career high of 56 points.
That's right.
That's the good part.
And the Hawks won, right?
And they still lost. I mean,
it's bad, man.
Look, when you got somebody like Trae Young putting up 56 points, no wonder they ran the score up to 250 plus points.
Seriously.
Or 260, right? Whatever. But yeah,
right.
I mean, how do you have such a high record, a personal record, and still lose a game? Not pretty.
And this will kind of coexist with my bad. I was gonna kind of talk about the Hawks injury riddled team, just talking about how they've got so many players out with injuries and on the COVID list, and their defense is just a mess right now. Just the Hawks are bad right now. But I also wanted to talk about Trae Young's 56 points against the Trailblazers. And like you said, it's just ugly because you've got someone like Trae Young who's going to drop 56 and then still lose the game. It's like, how is that possible? It just goes to show me he doesn't have a supporting cast. I mean, he's missing John Collins, like his duo, Capella was playing though. He, I think, had a pretty big game as well. But like, obviously when both teams are putting up 130 or so, players are going to be putting up 20 points, across the board because it's such a high scoring game.
Up there? Yeah,
exactly. But to see Trae Young have a career high, I think it's also the NBA high for the season, 56 points.
Really? Oh,
yeah. I don't think there's been another player score more than that this season. And so, yeah, to see them take the L, that was ugly. I couldn't honestly believe, it's like, how do you celebrate something like that, but you lose? It's just kind of like, it just feels weird to me.
Right.
So, all right. So that was basically your ugly, my bad. So let's end it off, Tim, with your good.
All right. Well, I've mentioned it a couple of times now. The Grizzlies are on fire right now. They've got a 6-game win streak, largely due to Ja Morant. He is he is on fire. I mean, I don't know if you've seen any of him playing. Watch the highlights. He's got some really solid highlights.
His dunks are next level. Like,
Well, and they just come out of nowhere. I mean, this guy's,
I wonder
he's a
how
playmaker.
tall is he? I'm going to look him up too. I'm going to look to see how tall is Ja Morant, because he has hops, man. He has hops, and he's up here. Like, you had told me that he's 6'3". I honestly was expecting him to be a little bit shorter than that. But you had said that you saw him do a dunk against the Nets. That was just probably one of the best dunks you've seen this season. And it wasn't even like a poster dunk. It was just like magical to watch.
Sure. It surprised me, but I mean, he just did it with such grace. You know what? One thing I also like about him is his, I don't know the word, not taunt, but he just loves to kind of dance around after he does something pretty out there, and it's fun to watch. I'm not gonna lie.
You like a flashy player, Tim.
I do. What can I say?
That's one thing that you for sure have made apparent, is that you love a flashy player. Well, hey, thank you for sharing your good. We're talking about the Grizzlies. We're talking about Ja. We're actually going to talk more about them in the NBA recap. So, Tim, let's go ahead and jump into the NBA recap.
Welcome to. Sorry, but I forgot that. Hold on.
I was letting.
All right, hold on.
I was letting you have that.
I know you were just kind of staring at me. Let's start over. You ready?
Okay, let's do it.
Welcome to NBA recap.
Man,
Jacob, take it away.
Did you hear that? Yeah. No, man. NBA recap. See, there we go. I like the energy that you brought into it was amazing. We've got a short NBA recap this week. I know we're running out on time already, but basically we just wanted to cover Kyrie made his return. This is pretty big news. We've been waiting for this all season long. Obviously, there's been some issues with him not being vaccinated and playing in New York with their vaccine mandate. So, the Nets have allowed him to play road games. And I think eventually they'll probably let him come back to play home games, especially if they get into the playoffs. I mean, it's going to be funny to see because it's like, oh, you can't play any games right now. But how do you not let him play the playoffs at home?
Yeah, that would be interesting. Yeah, for sure. Especially since there's multiple games per level. Yeah, that'd be interesting.
So yeah, in his return, the Nets won. They won 129-121 against the Pacers. We've kind of brought it up earlier. Tim got to watch a little bit of it. Didn't really seem like anything special. Kyrie, though, put up 22 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists. I will say I saw one highlight of him taking it coast to coast. He got a rebound defensively, took it all the way down court, did it behind the back, and then a layup. It looked really sweet, and it's honestly so cool to see Kyrie back out there playing. He's definitely one of the top point guards when he is playing. And to see him come back, put up 22 first game, I mean, he hasn't skipped a beat. So I'm excited to see more about Kyrie. So you said you watched a little bit of the game tonight? Yeah,
I watched pretty much all of it. I missed the first few minutes, but yeah, I did. I don't know if he ended up starting, but he did play most of the game. The game overall was rather unexciting, as we mentioned, but it was fun to watch Kyrie play. I've never really seen him play.
Okay.
But he's not overly flashy, but he's a little bit more pizzazz than KD, I will say. He's a very controlled player. I don't know. It's just something. Yeah, like he knows how to get the ball to the basket. That was one thing I noticed is like he can drive really well.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, you can definitely expect that from Kyrie. He definitely someone that can break down the defender using his dribbling skills, different dribble packages. If we're talking 2K talk here, but. I think Kyrie is such a fun player to watch. I'm excited that he's going to be able to start playing road games. Obviously I can't wait until he can come back and play every night with them because obviously that's what he wants to do. But I'm excited to see how he does the rest of the season. I mean, this is just game 1. And speaking of returns, this Sunday, it's been reported that Klay Thompson could be making his return. So I'm super excited. We'll be covering that next episode, of course, if he does return. So I'm looking forward to that.
Question for you.
Okay.
Do you think, who do you think is going to make kind of a bigger impact on the league overall?
Okay. It's kind of tough. Personally, just right off the bat, I was going to say Kyrie. Because obviously, something we've talked about earlier, the Nets just need to find their chemistry. And so if the Nets can find their chemistry with Kyrie, this could be a championship team. So, like, if Kyrie comes back and they start just dominating, they're not taking L's, like, they're clearly clicking, this could be a team that wins the championship. But with him only playing road games, I just wonder how that dynamic will work once they go back home and then they have to kind of adjust their lineup back to what they've been used to. I don't know how that's going to work. The Warriors obviously are killing it right now. They're, still right up there, up top with the best of them. So with Klay Thompson coming back, honestly, I just see them winning more. So I don't see like a big difference with the Warriors other than just them winning even by higher margins or just taking less losses. They're already not taking a lot. So, but good question there. But to kind of, like I said, NBA recap's going to be kind of short this week, but I really just wanted to talk more about the Grizzlies. I mean, they've won 6 in a row, like you said, in your good section of the good, bad, and the ugly. They, out of this 6-game span, they beat the Kings, which really, isn't that impressive, but they beat the Suns. That one's impressive. They beat the Lakers, and no matter what people are saying about the Lakers, I think that's a good dub to take. They beat the Spurs, which again is kind of not a big game, but then they beat the Nets and then they beat the Cavs. Both of those last 2 teams obviously are pretty good teams. But I wanted to focus in more about Ja Morant, another guy that we've been talking about a lot this episode. I want to kind of cover his points per game, and I know points per game isn't everything, but it is pretty spectacular to see kind of his points per game in this 6-game span. Against the Kings, he put up 18, which obviously isn't super impressive. But then the Suns, he put up 33. Like that's a big game, obviously, against the Suns. He needed to show up. Obviously, he did. He put up 33. Against the Lakers, he put up 41. That's a big one. That's a huge game for Ja Morant. Again, against the Lakers, and LeBron, Russell Westbrook. So for a young star like Ja Morant to come in and drop 41 on him, that's pretty impressive. Put up 30 against the Spurs, 36 against the Nets, which I think drove them to beat the Nets ultimately. So again, another big game. Ja Morant steps up, puts up 36. And then to kind of round it off here, they play the Cavs, another good team this year, and he puts up 26 that game. So, I mean, I saw an article, or it was really a video on ESPN where these 2 analysts were talking, no. This was Desmond Bane, his teammate, and he was saying, I don't know if you saw this video, but he was saying, I don't know why people are wondering if Ja Morant's going to be an all-star or not. I think they should be talking about whether he's the best point guard in the league right now.
Wow. Desmond Bane said that.
Yeah, about Ja Morant. So what do you think? I mean, obviously you've given Ja Morant high praise this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know what really it takes to be the best point guard per se. I mean, I think Ja Morant's obviously a phenomenal player, definitely an MVP contender. Obviously, I voted for him in the All-Stars game, right? So, I mean, I could definitely see he's definitely somebody that needs to be talked about more so than we focused on at the beginning of the season. Right. I definitely foresee him being, and this kind of goes back to a couple episodes ago where we talked about what makes a superstar. I think he's well on his way as well.
Oh yeah.
He's up there with somebody like Trey, where maybe he's not there yet. I don't know, but he's definitely somebody that I'll be watching for years to come.
Yeah, I would definitely consider them to be in a similar boat. I mean, definitely leading point guards for their teams. Like, you take you take Ja out the game, you take Trae out the game, that makes the difference, obviously. Both of those players made it to the playoffs last year. So, obviously Hawks made a little bit further, but at the end of the day, I think Hawks has had a better team, honestly, than the Grizzlies did. But Ja Morant, man, I mean, like you said, going back, watch his highlights, man. They are just so exciting to watch. Such a fun player to watch. And ultimately, that's why I think you've found yourself like having and finding this like new love for the Grizzlies. It's just because simply like it's just an exciting team to watch right now with Ja leading them.
And I don't want to even praise Ja exclusively. Desmond Bane, phenomenal player as well. Great number 2.
Right.
I also very much enjoy watching Aquaman himself. Steven Adams, I think is his name.
Steven Adams, big man.
He's got a lot of fun playtime as well. So I don't want to just. It's not just Ja Morant's team, right? I mean, the Grizzlies as a whole, they're doing great things. I'm very much enjoying them as a whole. So
awesome, man. So much fun. We're going to have to definitely keep an eye on Ja Morant as the season goes, and the Grizzlies, like you said. It's not just Ja Morant. It's definitely a fun team to kind of keep up with. So with that being said, Timbo, what do you think, man? You think we should get out of here?
Yeah, but I want to just say I'm a little sad because
why are you sad?
We just never had an opportunity for the air horns.
Oh, we had no hot takes this episode.
No hot takes.
Gosh.
That's okay. We'll save it for next week. That'll just make it that much more exciting when one drops.
More hot takes next week, and that might be a hot take in itself. Ooh. But save the horns. Save the horns. We don't want to get into it. But man, yeah, I didn't even realize that. That's kind of a bummer, man. That's kind of a bummer. But anyways, thank you to all for tuning in tonight. As always, actually, we get to use the horns for the listener of the week.
Do we now? Okay, let's go.
So, as always, we like to give a shout out to the listener of the week. They are someone that comments on one of our posts from the past week.
Easy enough to do. Come on now.
Exactly. All you have to do, it doesn't matter which post it is, as long as you comment and just say something as simple as this, we can't wait. So for that, listener of the week is Aldrich Fitness. Thank you so much, Sam, for supporting the podcast. You are consistently liking all of our posts, following us not only on Instagram, but following us on TikTok. And you commented on our last sneak peek post and you said, can't wait for the episode. So thank you so much for your continued support. If you want to be
Samwise,
the listener of the week, make sure you leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcast this week.
Yes. And he said he can't wait. And he got an episode early.
Exactly.
Because of it. It's because of Samwise. Let's go.
Thank you so much. It's because of you, everyone else can enjoy an episode early.
That's not true, guys. If you ask for it early again, it's probably not going to happen. I'm sorry.
If you ask for it early again, we'll probably just push it back to the regular schedule. So maybe you shouldn't say can't wait next time. Maybe you can be like, I can wait, but also can't wait.
We definitely want to hear that you can't wait. That means a lot to us.
Seriously.
It just probably won't speed anything up anymore.
Yes. But I was joking about if you want to be the listener, leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. Still, go leave a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. But if you want to be the listener of the week, all you got to do is comment on one of our recent posts. And again, follow us at Instagram and TikTok at Not a Sports Guy Podcast. And Tim, where can they email us with any questions and concerns?
Not a Sports Guy Podcast at gmail.com.
I'm sorry, I didn't really hear it. Could you just I don't know if you were
Not a Sports Guy Podcast at gmail.com.
Himbo, the king. Let's get out of here, brother. Thank you all.
Alrighty.
Thank you all, and have a good night
or good day.
Oh yeah.
Bye.